This is a Jaguar 420. It's not as well known as other classic Jaguars, but I think it deserves to be. In fact, it's one of the rarest of Jaguar sedans. Made only for 2 years, 1967 through 68, they made 2,629 in left-hand drive, 7,595 in right-hand drive, for a total of 10,224 cars. And only a handful of these are known to exist worldwide in even remotely good condition. Of course, a saloon, or sedan as we Americans say, will never bring as much as a two-seater open sports car, but still, to me, they have the same qualities as the E-Type that make them endearing. They're the epitome of 60s automotive styling, with all this gorgeous chrome, wood, and leather. And they brought on all the new performance upgrades that was, in some ways, the dawn of the modern automotive era. So in my opinion, they're steal today. That is, if you can find a good one, as they haven't been the recipient of much restoration love, as the cost to restore far exceeds present values. But even that seems to be changing a bit. The 420 has been called a stopgap measure between the earlier cars, like the Mark II and S-types, and the arrival of the highly anticipated XJ6, which was a huge success and sold in great numbers. But that term really doesn't do them justice. The 420 was heralded as the first luxury sport sedan, which was an entirely new concept. It offered the comfort features of the larger Mark X, but wrapped in a sporty package. The ad said, "If you drive an E-Type, this is the only sedan that will make you happy." The Mark II was sporty, but somewhat Spartan, and the bigger cars were comfortable and luxurious, but not particularly exhilarating to drive. The 420 shares the same powertrain as the E-Type, the fabulous 4.2 straight-six engine, which is a great, solid, and durable engine with the famous SU carburetors. I like to check the dash pots and make sure they're topped off because it makes me feel like I'm doing something, and that's basically the extent of my mechanical skills. The seats are large and comfortable, disc brakes all around, upgraded suspension, and Variomatic power steering, which integrates a kind of ease of steering with tight road handling. So this is a classic that is quite drivable. And the shape of this thing, it has so much personality, I never get tired of looking at it. It's interesting from all angles. I love the little details, like this vent window mechanism. It feels like something you'd find on a boat. It's also well put together with care and personality. We're the third owner of this car, and we were lucky to find this example that was doted on its entire life. When you sit in this car, you are ensconced in leather and wood, with these little switches that feel a bit like the cockpit of an airplane. There are 2 gas tanks, one on each side, and this switch changes between the two. About 6.5 gallons on each side, so stops at the gas station are frequent. The leather is all original, with a few sympathetic repairs, and I was lucky that the original owner bought a roll of the original leather from the factory that came with the car. There are a few cracks and wear, but I love the patina of this, and that it feels like a 50-year-old car. The wood is original, and a bit shabby in places, and that's something I will get around to doing at some point. The only thing not original in the interior is the steering wheel. I had this made for the car with an original horn center, as a smaller wheel improves road feel and makes the steering feel tighter. But I kept the original for the sake of originality if I ever sell the car. But I don't show the car, I drive it. So how does it drive? Well, the power is ample. But honestly, it's not too quick off the start. But once it gets going, it really moves. On the highway, when it hits 60 miles per hour, it goes pretty quickly to 85 or 90. But it doesn't feel like it wants to go much faster than that. That's about the red line. But I don't need to go faster than 75 as we don't have an Autobahn here. Compared to our Bentley T, which is incredibly smooth and quiet at high speeds, you can hear the engine and there's not great sound dampening. So on long trips, it does well to cruise along at about 60 to 65. I wish it was fitted with overdrive, as that would really improve gas mileage and sound at cruising speeds. If the Bentley is a luxury land yacht, this is a little runabout, perfect for day trips and jaunts around town. The handling is amazing. It blows me away. It's a Jag, famously sure-footed. I can lean into the curves and it hugs the corners, and it really excels on the little curvy back roads where you feel completely connected to the road. And that's what makes this car fun. It's the experience of motoring, not just driving. With the throaty purr of the engine, you feel as if you become one with the car. With that said, while it corners amazingly, the suspension is a weak point, especially with some of our bumpy roads. This example has new shocks and completely rebuilt suspension, but still, it's a product from the 60s. It feels a bit rigid, and you feel the bumps if the road is bad. So it forces me to read the road ahead and be a very attentive driver to avoid things like potholes. And it's so low to the ground that speed bumps have to be navigated with extreme caution. But other than that, it's very capable in modern traffic. I've treated this car not as a fragile relic from the past, but as a daily driver. My philosophy has been drive it hard, maintain it harder. And we alternate yearly miles between this car, our Bentley T, and a modern car, about equally. As for maintenance and repairs, it's not as expensive as the Bentley, but cheaper than a modern luxury car that's out of warranty, as there are no expensive electronic components. Even the window mechanisms are simple, which you operate by hand. We've driven it now for 15 years, and the engine was rebuilt a couple of years ago. In that time, we've done repairs as needed and followed a strict maintenance schedule, and the car has rewarded us, and we hope to keep driving it as long as we can.